Bill O'Reilly here. You are listening to the O'Reilly Update, sponsored by Tax Network USA, America's #1 choice for tax resolution. Please go to tnusa.com/bill or call 800-245-6000. Coming up next, the news with Mike Slater.
Thank you, Bill. It's Thursday, July 11th, 2024. Here's what's happening today in America. Dems won't take yes for an answer. NATO summit promise. The SAVE Act passes, and another state bans cell phones in school. That's all coming up. Then Bill's going to be here with your message of the day. But first, 3 updates about Joe Biden leaving or staying in the race. First, Pelosi said, whatever the president decides, she will support. The White House responded, we can't make it any more clear. We have decided. If Pelosi wanted Joe to run, she would have told everyone to stop talking about it. It's over. He's the guy. But she didn't say that. Second, Senator Tim Kaine says, I've known Joe to do the patriotic thing his entire life, and I know he'll do the right thing here too. Love that guilt trip. And third, George Clooney wrote an editorial in the New York Times. He was the guy who hosted the fundraiser a couple weeks ago, raised $14 million. He said, Joe's got to go. He said the Joe Biden I was with 3 weeks ago at that fundraiser was not the Joe Biden of 2010. He wasn't even the Joe Biden of 2020. He was the same man we all witnessed at that debate. Ouch. The NATO summit going on in D.C. right now. Blinken said that the delivery of F-16s are on their way to Ukraine, to the roaring applause of the crowd. Biden said that Russia is increasing their weapons production. So must we. He said we cannot allow the alliance to fall behind. Blinken also said that Ukraine is irreversibly on the path to NATO as long as it continues reforms. The House passed the SAVE Act. So as it stands now, if you register to vote, the form asks if you're a U.S. citizen, but it doesn't require you to prove you're a U.S. citizen, and the feds don't check up on it later. The SAVE Act would, among other things, require everyone to prove they're a U.S. citizen when they register to vote. It could be done with a passport, real ID, birth certificate, etc. Almost every single Democrat voted against it. One Democrat said this is the 2024 version of the Jim Crow poll tax because it costs money to get a birth certificate. In that Congresswoman's home state of Virginia, it's $12. Speaking of Virginia, they are the latest state to ban the use of cell phones in K-12 public schools. It will be implemented January 2025. The state hasn't come up with the details yet, but the idea is to use pouches or dedicated cell phone lockers so students can store their phones during school hours. Florida was the first state. Indiana passed another law in March. Oklahoma and Vermont have legislation in the works. It's amazing it took us this long to catch up with something that's so obviously true. I'm Mike Slater from the podcast Politics by Faith. Bill O'Reilly with your message of the day. Next.
If you own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles and have an auto warranty about to expire or have no warranty at all, listen up. Car Shield has a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that's now available to the public. Save on out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. So please call Car Shield now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. 800-925-7584 for a free quote. This protection plan is at an all-time low in price. Drivers who activate the vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. So please call for your free quote, 800-925-7584, 800-925-7584. Hey, what do you have to lose? 800-925-7584. Time now for the O'Reilly Update message of the day. On this Thursday, the New York Times, which is pretty much in business with the Democratic Party, a newspaper has not endorsed a Republican in more than 75 years or something like that. They really want Joe Biden gone. 2 editorials. Joe must go. Why? Why do they want him out so much? Because they know what I know and what you probably know as well. That something else is going to happen to Joe Biden as president that's going to demonstrate his unfitness. That's inevitable. So the liberal wing of the Democratic Party goes, we can't afford that. So in October, President Biden can't get out of bed. That's the kind of scenario that is in place among the left wing of the Democratic Party, led by Barack Obama, by the way. Enter George Clooney, a devotee of liberal politics, longtime Democrat, big fundraiser for the Dems. A few weeks ago, what was that? 25 million, 50 million out in Hollywood. Clooney writes an op-ed in the New York Times saying our party leaders need to stop telling us that we didn't see what we just saw. We're also terrified by the prospect of a second Trump term. We've opted to ignore every warning sign about President Biden. Biden must go, according to George Clooney. Now, the New York Times solicited that, and that should tell you everything you need to know. I'm Bill O'Reilly. I approve the message by writing it. You can reach me, Bill at BillO'Reilly.com, Bill at BillO'Reilly.com, name and town if you wish to opine. Okay, let's go to the mail. We have Sarah saying, I'm not sure President Biden fully realizes or feels the slings and arrows directed at him. I think the limit to what a human being can take is more pertinent to what Jill Biden is going through. I disagree with you. Joe Biden knows he's under extreme pressure. He knows that because his staff has to tell him that. All right, has to tell him that, and he can digest that. Jill Biden's under pressure too, but Jill is way more motivated to stay in the White House than Joe. If Jill Biden walked in today, and it's an opinion, said, Joe, let's hang it up for our legacy, and somebody else has a better chance to beat the devil, Donald Trump, than you do, and Joe would say, okay, it's Jill that's hanging in. Glenda, I agree with what you said about Jill Biden, O'Reilly. It is shameful. I've been saying this for the entire presidency. It's elder abuse. What you said about Biden will not be able to take it. I don't know how Trump has stood up under the punishing stress that's been on him. That's an excellent point. I've never seen a human being take more abuse ever than Donald Trump, ever. David Rosenberg, Brooklyn, New York. Mr. O'Reilly, I love the No Spin News. You are the only one who backs up your statements with facts. I know it's not going to happen, but can you explain in general how the 25th Amendment works? Yes, I can. So the Vice President of the United States and the majority of the cabinet heads, that's all the departments, Transportation Department, Treasury Department, everybody, they get together and they certify that the president is not capable of doing his job. Okay? The VP has to be in on it. That's number one. The majority of the cabinet has to sign in, and they have to certify it with their names. That's the 25th Amendment. If that happens, the president's removed. In a moment, something you might not know. Are you feeling the impact of recent timeshare industry changes? Now more than ever, the costs of timeshare ownership far outweigh the benefits. My friends at Lorar Transfer are the only company I trust to help you get out. Our listeners' positive feedback demonstrates why I've supported the company for years. For more than a decade, they have helped over 20,000 owners get out of the timeshare. Their exclusive options can help you get out faster and easier, more than any other option in the country. They are the only company that will give you a written guarantee and release you from your timeshare in a specific time frame. With an A+ rating at the Better Business Bureau, and thousands of 5-star reviews, customer service is their top priority. For a free consultation and a guaranteed solution, please call 855-551-7066. That's 855-551-7066, or go to LoneStarTransfer.com. Now the O'Reilly Update brings you something you might not know. On this day in 1987, the world's population topped 5 billion human beings for the first time. Today, that figure is approaching 8 billion. With all these humans running around, it's easy to forget there are still a few spots on Earth that are mostly empty. Here are the least populated places on the planet. Number 5, Tristan da Cunha. The remote island is halfway between South America and Africa. The tiny rock is home to just 200 people. You can't get off it. Number 4, the Pitcairn Islands, just one person per square mile. Most residents can trace their lineage back to the mutineers of the HMS Bounty in 1789. Next, the Falkland Islands off the coast of Argentina, site of a bloody war between the UK and the Argentines in 1982. The territory is still controlled by Great Britain. Population density, 1 person per 2 square miles. Second place, the Northern Islands of Norway. The Frigid Archipelago spans 250 miles. There are more polar bears there than people. In fact, if you go outside on those northern islands, you have to carry a rifle. The least populated place on Earth, Greenland. The massive island is 900,000 square miles. Huge, as Donald Trump might say. That's the size of the entire American heartland from Texas all the way up to Canada. Here in the USA, the Midwest is home to about 70 million people, but the entire population of Greenland is 50,000. Less than 1 person every 40 miles. And it is mighty chilly up there. Here's something else you might not know. If you enjoy a big crowd, most densely populated places can be found in Africa and Asia. Top of the list, Kinshasa, the capital of the Congo, Cairo, Egypt, Mumbai, India, Manila, the Philippines. Number 1, Macau, China, 1.5 million people live in 8 square miles. That's 3 times the population density of Manhattan. Back after this. Everything is expensive these days, you know that. The government is printing trillions of dollars and consumer prices higher than ever. But there are a few things you can do right now. American Hartford Gold can show you how to protect your money, your retirement, your hard-earned savings against inflation by helping you diversify a portion of your portfolio into physical gold and silver. Start with a short phone call, and they can have physical gold and silver delivered right to your door or put inside your 401k or IRA. So please call or text them right now. Tell them Bill O'Reilly sent you. Call 877-444-GOLD, 877-444-GOLD, or text GOLD to 65532. Again, that's 877-444-GOLD, or text GOLD to 65532. Thank you for listening to the O'Reilly Update. I am Bill O'Reilly. No spin, just facts, and always looking out for you.